It was rush hour, and I turned left onto a long, busy street. Going south was clear, but going back, the traffic was jammed. Knowing I'd have to come back that way, the thought arose, I'm gonna get stuck. I quickly left that feeling alone and began thinking about ways to get around the traffic while I drove to my grocery store destination. On the way back, I just came back up that same route, thinking I'd put the news on. I hit the power button, and instead of the news, one of my favorite singers from the past came on, Sarah McLachlan, and the song Fumbling Towards Ecstasy. Instantly, I went into love and joy singing, I won't fear love. And then I laughed. Mostly, I laughed at the idea of fearing love. Then I laughed again, remembering how I used to believe these lyrics and sing them like they had some real importance. Oh, and I laughed again, so happy to be out of that daydream of a nightmare forever. Then I laughed at the earlier thought that I'd have to wait a long, boring time on this little drive up the road, an experience that I was now enjoying blissfully. And then I laughed once more at the idea of fearing love. It's so ridiculous. It's like fearing the taste of honey. You know how honey tastes? It's never going to taste any different. You would never fear how it tastes. It's not love these lyrics speak about. It's the nightmares we experience while daydreaming about people and ourselves. That's what we fear, but we don't know it because we have so thoroughly confused things, people, and events for happiness, love, joy, and peace. The redeeming reality, the saving grace, the joyful truth is that they're not the same thing. Pain is not love, love is not pain. Fear is not love, love is not fear. Relationships and people aren't the source or cause of your love. You can feel and experience all the levels of happiness, love, and joy, and even become blissfully ecstatic for absolutely no reason, just because you can. And you can, because it's who and what you are. But we have so many ideas in the mind, which we dream, and while we dream, we feel those imaginary ideas. We don't realize that it's the mind we're experiencing and feeling because we're dreaming. It means to be unconscious, unaware of what's going on, unaware of what's actually causing our pain. This is the human condition. It's never reality that hurts us mentally or emotionally. It's the mentality. And that is so obvious to me now. But I remember a time when it wasn't. And I know that because of our culture, where all these painful imaginary ideas are embedded, the vast majority of people agree with and believe these thoughts, and therefore they dream and live them. Even if you don't believe that a person, thing, or an event directly makes you happy, you might still think that seeing them triggers happy thoughts. So you remain dependent. So you still aren't free. Because you assume those circumstances are necessary for happiness, you act as though you need them. It's not true, of course, but by believing it is, you end up living that way. For example, someone in my alchemy intensive program said that a particular walk they took daily brought them happiness. When I asked them to remember and pay attention to what was going on in their mind as they walked, they realized that they were having good thoughts. Then they said it was the thoughts triggered by the walk that made them happy. So I challenged them. Next time you take that walk, suppress those happy thoughts to see if it was the reality of the walk causing the thoughts. Even considering that made them uncomfortable, showing us three key things. One, they know they can suppress thoughts, which means they aren't helpless victims of the mind. Two, what we think is what we feel, not the outer reality itself. And three, we prefer to be happy, given a choice. It's never that I want anyone to be unhappy. I want to show that the walk doesn't create joy. The walk is not the cause or source of happiness. Rather, it's the thoughts we unconsciously experience that we feel. You can walk in a gorgeous garden in absolute misery. If you check out of reality and tune into the mind's internal movie, you'll end up experiencing whatever it's playing without even realizing it. When I work with people, I often devise these real-life experiments to help them see how their unconsciousness creates both their experience and their beliefs about the source and causes of stress, suffering, love, joy, happiness. Which is why we are so confused and unsuccessful at being happy. But just the idea of suppressing those happy thoughts unsettled this person. And that, in itself, illustrates the point. What you're feeling isn't the result of the walk or what you're doing on the outside. It's a result of what goes on in your mind that you're feeling on the inside. Ultimately, what you're thinking, that is, what you're touching in the mind and agreeing to, consciously or unconsciously, is what you feel. If the only time you got to enjoy yourself during the day was one precious walk, and now you're being asked to suppress the thoughts, why would I do this? I don't want to make you unhappy on your walk. I want you to be happy everywhere you go, and no matter what you're doing. I want you to see that it's not a walk that makes you happy, but the thoughts that you touch, experience, and agree to that make you happy. You see, we are making up the rules. We say we can't enjoy ourselves when we can. And it's this actual saying that determines whether we enjoy or do not enjoy whatever it is we're doing. But we don't see that we're saying it, nor that what we're saying to ourselves is creating our experience. If you agree to experience the mind, then whatever feature movie is playing in the mind is what you will experience, consciously or unconsciously. Generally, for most people, it's unconsciously. I carried the bags up the stairs, and as usual, the cats were gleefully flopping on the floor for their belly rubs. I took a moment to enjoy. Why not? Why not enjoy and have some fun? I often end my webinars by encouraging people to enjoy themselves. Why not? Children use the imaginary mind for fun. They call it play. They know it's not real. They know they have to leave their tea party alone at some point and come for dinner if they want to fill their real bellies. When you were a child, you knew the difference between the mental imaginary mind and the reality in the room. Adults seem to have lost track of this, and that's why they suffer. Adults began dreaming the mind as if it's real, as if it's true, and as if it's you. And the mind got loaded up with a bunch of junk about yourself, others, and the world. Then the mind replays these bad movies over and over, so you get to experience them like Groundhog Day, again and again. And you act on those bad ideas and bad feelings over and over, repeating the same errors over and over, never living free from the conditioned mind. If you've had enough, if you're tired of being at the mercy of your own mind, I have something for you. It's called Inner Peace Now. And it's not about fixing you, because you're not broken. You don't need fixing. It's about giving you the knowledge that you need to access the peace that is already here right now, no matter what your mind is doing, using the real powers you already possess, which both cause and cure unconscious dreaming of the mind. But here's the catch. It's free only if you listen to it within 3 days. Because if you don't use it, you lose it. It's free because I want you to use it. Because I want you to be free. I want you to live it, to model it, and to ripple it out into the world. For that, you need to learn it. And so that's why you need to earn it by learning it. This isn't shelf help. It's not another download. that you can just leave forgotten on the hard drive. Inner peace is to be lived, not hoped or waited for. Get it on demand right now in this short but powerful training that will be sold for $97. But as a listener of this podcast, it's yours for free. Go to claiminnerpeace.com right now and claim your free access, or text the word CLAIM to 1-313-512-7979. Do it now, because the mind will forget and you'll lose your chance. Yes, you don't have to fumble toward ecstasy. You can climb unstoppably toward it. For deeper insight on this, I'll share another personal experience of becoming blissfully ecstatic next time.